Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
This is the People's Weekend.
Preliminary finals probably the best weekend of the year.
And it kicks off at a Triple MCG packed full of pies.
Collingwood Army are right up and about.
Can the Maggies cap off their home and away success by marching into a granny?
Collingwood, the best team of the home and away. And now into a preliminary final. Massive celebrations.
Or will GWS pull off another upset just like in 2019?
Hopper's kicked out of bounds. It's all over. It is all over and the Giants have made the grand final.
For Reed Hot Water and McDonald's, Triple M rocks finals footy.
Crowd has built significantly in the last 5 minutes. Both teams out on the ground. The Giants taking on the Pies for a spot in next Saturday afternoon's grand final. Come in, Mickey.
Yeah, big crowd, as you said, Howie, and magnificent down here, 11 degrees, light wind, perfect for a preliminary final. This is it. No tomorrow stuff, Howie. It's sell out. They're jammed in, the Magpie mob. So the big change, as we know, Nick Dacos comes in after that hairline fracture, the inside of the right knee. Taylor Adams, hamstring, the orange crush, unchanged.
MCG alight. Collingwood taking on the GWS Giants. 90,000 plus here. Got to only be 400 or so Orange fans. The rest is black and white.
For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy, a packed house at the MCG. It's like a Collingwood Coliseum tonight. This is enormous.
Maynard goes to Green. With Darcy Moore going to Jesse Hogan. And Plainer will get Bedford.
Box against Breeks in the ruck. The umpire held the footy up. The siren went. And he slams it into the deck and the bounce is good. It's Cox who gets it tapped down to ground level, trying to burst through as Whitfield got dragged down to the tackle. Cornelio picks up, kick smothered. Tommy Green's got it. Side bottom got in his way. Went back to Whitfield by hand. Went back to Cornelio by hand. Kicks to the outer side wing. One-on-one. Josh Dacos. Offload's coming. Spins one way then the other. Hand pass to Howe. Running off half-back. Beautiful delivery. Across the wing to McStay, but he's dropped it.
The ball goes out of bounds, out of side. Shane Warne stand.
And Cox works like a midfielder ground level. Picked it up on the bounce. Hand pass Josh Dacos. Over the top by hand, just forward of the wing to Crisp. Got through traffic, nice little inboard delivery. And the Rolls-Royce Pendlebury marks in the centre of the ground.
Plays on, shapes one forward on the left. First opportunity for McStay, gets off his man. Just seemed to stumble, did Taylor.
He lost his footing, Howie. He tried to go with him, but then when he had to go and accelerate, his feet went out from underneath him. And it looks like there's a little bit of new grass laid down the MCG. It's a bit lighter green, but he certainly lost his footing.
15-4 this season from set shots. He's 25 out, no angle. McStay keeps it low. Have a listen to the Pies fans. Collingwood players come from everywhere. And it's the perfect start for D. McStay and the black and white army. The Pies won straight, the Giants yet to roll. Side bottom. Wing. Drives it down the line. Cox. Down to McCreary. He's got pace. Gets through two tackles. McCreary. Then a little underground ball. Lipinski, quick hands to go. He ridden into the ground. Good tackle in the end by Cornelio. And the Pies keep it in there, attacking 50.
Lockie Ash, he's had one fumble and now a missed tackle. So he needs to do better early stages. You don't want to make too many mistakes as a travelling club to the MCG.
Tap down to Crisp, who fires from the pack and he's got it 30 out. The Magpies have got 6 minutes first term, 2 straight goals. The Giants yet to score.
It was a great start by Collingwood. It was probably the last thing that the Giants wanted. They need to find a way to take the crowd out of it. The crowd's up and into it. Couple of goals. Ball living in Collingwood's forward half. It's exciting stuff.
Nick Dacos just running onto the ground. Robbo, how's the reception for the champ?
I was just going to say, how's the crowd, Howie? Thumping crowd because Nick Dacos has just run on. Hasn't played since round 21 with that knee. So the favourite son is out on the ground.
Collingwood smashing the Giants at clearance at the moment. Every free ball that pops out of anywhere is going to a Collingwood hand.
As the Giants bounce out of half-back, ground little short ball. It's taken by Green, who hand pass over the top to Himmelberg. Himmelberg goes forward of the wing with a kick and a nice mark taken by Brown. He goes short, inboard. The umpire's playing the whistle. 50 penalty. Daniels played on. It's going to be the 50.
If they had played the advantage, there's a mark taken at the top of the goal square, so they'll get a shot at goal, but They've taken the mark 15 metres out. It was just encroaching on the mark on the side there, Baz. So an easy 50 metre for the umpire to pay.
So the Giants go to the City end in this first term. And for their first score of the preliminary final, 9.5 minutes into the first term. Brown walks in, breaks into a trot. 40 out, drop punt, won't be a goal. Pushed it to the right. One behind the Giants, 2 straight goals. The Pies, 9.5 first term.
What do you like on the Reds, Ed Chew?
Speaking of pressure, Collingwood still tracking at 205, and they've laid 22 tackles, plus 7, and they're plus 6 in disposals as well.
16 seconds left on the clock. The Magpies with a couple of goals in this first term have an opportunity, 45 from home. Throw a blanket over about 12, trying to work his way out of it. Mychek got sort of slung right over the top, and the umpire said, give it to me. Still.
Having the old suplex.
He did. 40 out for the Pies goal.
7 seconds on the clock. Pies are pressing. They lead at 2-2 to 3 behind. Collingwood looking for a late one. Gets away from Lipinski. Daniels gets rid of it. Should be all the scoring. Maynard puts his body over the footy. Collingwood dominated the first 10.
There we go, Howard.
The Giants came back. Now John Maynard's in the middle of it. Callum Ward, players coming in, but they know what's happening next week. And I don't think there will be too much fire in the furnace there. Mychek pushing around with Tom Green. Quarter time here. Mychek still having a bit of a go. Maynard, his teammates are telling him, come on, Bruzzy, get yourself out of there. Murphy's pushing with Hogan, who hasn't had much of an influence yet. The cry of Collingwood goes up. The team's still not separating. It's Bobby Hill and Callum Ward now. Collingwood 2-2-14. The Giants 3 behind. 11-point lead of the Pies.
Marine Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks finals footy.
Shut up! The footy's on the radio!
Marine Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks finals footy.
Quarter time, the first prelim. McStay and the Crisper on the board for the Pies. They're 2-2-14. The Giants 3 behind. Mickey Roberts.
Yeah, they had a bit of a look at Briggs' shoulder. So having a real good look at that, we know that he tortured it last time. So let's see if we can get through the game. Nick Dacos too spent a little bit on the bench, Howie. They're going to rotate him, slowly bring him into the game, and heaps of encouragement by Fly. Speaking of Fly, long time on the whiteboard, trying to throw the magnets around, making sure that everything's balanced. Pretty good quarter for Collingwood.
Astua Reds Eds.
To go in, number 1 ranked player, 10 disposals, 4 clearances.
Started on the bench, Nick Dacos came on and played most of the game forward, starting in the middle at the moment. But the Giants forwards need to get to work. So they've had enough inside forward 50s in that first quarter. They had the 10, Collingwood only the 12, but all their forwards hardly touched the ball. Bedford only one, Jesse Hogan failed to touch it, and Riccardi didn't do a hell of a lot either. So they've got enough entries. They need to start to get the ball on the end of it.
For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy. Start the second term of the preliminary final. Pies up by 11 points. They go to the City end. Tap down to ground level. Tommy Green off the ground. Just hacks it to half forward for the Giants. Daniels off hands. Run into 3 or 4 Magpies who bring the ball to ground. Ground level ball, Howe, but his hand pass went astray. Straight to Tommy Green. Kick to the forward pocket. Hogan and Darcy see the ball out of bounds. Right forward pocket. Punt road end for the Giants.
What's Chris Batty seemed to have had a fair bit of the footy chew on the Reds Eds?
9 disposals and he's kicked a major.
Here's another shallow entry again.
It's another high ball. Darcy Moore's in position. Hogan, big fly, he claims it, and umpire pays it. Beyond his distance, have to kick from 50, but that'll give Giants fans a bit of fizz. Big Jay Hogan taking contested.
It's a great mark. It's a great mark. Strong gives it off.
Driving ball forward. Opening goal for the Giants. They're on the board. He gave it to the one, the only, Toby Green. And Toby was never going to miss. Pies 2-3-15. Giants 1-4-10. 5-point margin. Pies 15-25 to go second term.
That's what they needed. The Giants wasn't. They just needed something to get themselves into the contest. They haven't coughed them up at the other end, but they hadn't been able to hit the scoreboard. Brown had missed a couple of set shots that he should have kicked, but Toby Green getting him into the game. You'd have to question Collingwood not paying attention after the mark was taken if he's allowed to loop around the back and get the hand pass. But it's a great finish off a couple of steps.
Bob Jane teammates, Mickey Roberts.
Yeah, boys, when they kick a goal, the whole joint goes up with fireworks. Collingwood got the lot. GWS got 2.
Buckley to Ash, who's defensive side of the wing. Kicks towards Ward. Penderby read it well. Punts it in the centre of the ground. Himmelberg waits for it though. Rush kicks okay. Daniels marks right on forward 50. And a short ball to Tommy Green, who's marked about 42 metres out. Real slight angle punt road in.
So far, 4 of their 5 scoring shots have been beyond 40. This one's going to be from 50 again, and they find themselves at 1-4. Not saying this isn't working because they're getting the shots, but Collingwood would be quite comfortable how far out they're taking their shots at goal.
What they have had is 11 of the last 15 inside 50s, the Giants. So starting to dominate the territory battle.
And if he slots this, Tommy Green, the Giants have hit the front. 8 minutes second term. He'll drop it onto his boot right on 50. Half post high drop. Punt as it snuck over. It's a goal. The Giants hit the front. 8.5 second term. They get a 2-4-16. The Magpies 2-3-15.
Giants make all the running at the moment. It was the Pies by 11 at the first break. It's now the Giants by a point with goals to Green and Green this term. Big fly from Brown, fisted away from him. Markov taps it to a dangerous area to go. He tries to get away from Cornelio, the big body of Tom Green. Can't quite shake the tackle. Daniels has got Green the outlie. If he can keep it in, Toby, he does. Shrugs one, little centering ball. McCreary. Oh, beautifully done, getting off his man. Looks like Isaac Cummings floated down there directly in front, 25 from home.
Just makes things happen, Toby Green, doesn't he? They have got some serious momentum right now.
5 goals straight he's kicked, Isaac Cumming, in season 2023. This to make it 3 in a row, and to really quieten the Collingwood fans. He'll only kick it from 25. No angle, side bottom. Stands the mark. Cumming loves everything about it. Giants 3 in a row. There is belief in this side. They're out by 7. The visitors 3-4-22. The Pies 2-3-15. 3 on the trot. The Orange Tsunami.
10-2 inside 50s in this term, but the big difference between the first quarter and this quarter is the Giants' ability to use hands out of a stoppage and out of trouble. In the first quarter, they were fumbling. They couldn't quite do it. They didn't handle the Pies' pressure, which was 240 at one stage in that first quarter. Now the Pies' pressure has dropped down to 160 or sub 160, and the Giants just have that extra second to use the ball by hand to get themselves out of trouble.
Giants crisscrossing out of defence. They've hung it up in the air too long, though. They might get away with it. Kelly, numbers, Chew.
9 touches.
He's doing well. Brown on the outer side. And the Irishman centering ball. Cornelio in front of Penderby. They're looking dangerous here. The Giants forward hand pass goes to Jay Kelly. Little chipper inside. Well done, Howe. Came off his man. Sported away from Briggs. Forced to Cornelio. Low sliding ball forward. There's 2 Giants there. They could have raffled it. It was Keefe and Riccardi. And Riccardi gets the winning ticket. And Jake from 15 out. No angle to make it 4 goals to zip for the term. It's currently a 1-goal margin.
Isaac.
Riccardi's had a couple of opportunities. Stuttering approach. Kicks it. Hurts the Pies. They haven't kicked a goal for the turn. The Giants have banged home 4. They're 4-4-28. Collingwood 2-4-16. Can the Pies now build off half back? They go lateral.
He runs and carries and kicks out here towards side bottom in space. Had plenty of time to set up for Cox, who marks in front of the members. The crowd urging him to go. Side bottom kept running. Receives the hand pass. Delivers. Oh, big leap from Hill. Didn't bring it down. McCreary fall of the ball. Hand pass over the top. Nick Dacos. Squaring ball towards goal across the face. Another point to Collingwood. 2-6-18. 4-4-28. The Giants. 24.5 second term.
Just a little bit off, aren't they? That's something that you'd normally expect to see Nick Dacos kick the running banana. It'd bring the house down. The Collingwood players had left, but it's just not happening. Crowd not enjoying it at the moment either.
Oh, some real tension on the black and white faces here. 8 seconds on the clock. Giants the only chance of scoring. Ball wrapped up though. There's been a bit of aggression to it. Has Riccardi stayed out there, Brown?
He has, and he was in that contest then, and he moved pretty well.
Collingwood's lowest half-time score this year. 22 points against the Crows back in round 7. Currently they're at 2-6-18.
Ball spills back out towards the boundary line. Big half of footy. Pies 2 goals to zip first term. Giants 4 goals to zip second term. Half time in the first prelim, the Giants lead at 4-4-28 to the Pies 2-6-18 by 10 points.
Marine Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks finals footy.
Shut up! The foot is on the radio!
Marine Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks finals footy.
Massive quarter coming up. 2-6-18. The Pies And the Giants have the lead by 10 points to start the third term, 4-4-28. Here's a Guru.
Guys, get rolling. Oh, will the Giants continue and kick the last 4 goals of the match? Maccas and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Umpire waits. He's now given the single. And away they go. Briggs. Cox grabs out of the ruck. Little check side clearing ball. Whitfield goes off the ground. It's still in the centre square. Green. Daniels runs off him. Well done. Daniels driving it forward. Keefe arrived on the scene. Maynard will track it back. The Giants in attack. Little slider. It was a little bit ambitious. It was off the boot of Isaac Cumming. It was out on the full. Here's Nate Brown.
Interesting battle in this third term. So they've sent Nick Dacos back to half-back, where he played great football at the start of the year. He's been picked up by Brent Daniels. Now, Brent Daniels loves to come up to the stoppages, and if he continues to do that as a +1, that's going to allow Nick Dacos a little bit of room to move.
It's interesting. I suspect that's because they've struggled to get the ball out of defence once the Giants get it inside 50, Nate.
So the Giants lead at 4-4 to the Pies 2-6. Early stages. Second half. Cox only as far as Toby Green. Snapping out of the pack. Toby Green! This is what the skipper can do. He's got 2. The Giants have banged home 5 in a row. And this is a margin now. 5-4 to 2-6. The Giants lead the Pies by 16 points.
Oh, you can just see the belief that the Giants have got, though. Toby Green's just read that straight off the hand of Mason Cox, who won the tap. And Maynard just couldn't do anything about it. Off one step on the left foot, snaps the goal. You can see the belief in the eyes of the players. They've got some real problems.
Season on the line stuff for the Pies. They trail up by 17 points, 35 to 18. Shane Warne's down. They haven't kicked a goal, Chewy, since Chris. When was that?
6 minutes into the first quarter.
6 minutes into the first quarter.
Spot on, Howie.
And they just keep turning it over, that time from DeGoey.
Giants run it, but turn it over. Darcy Cameron to Darcy Moore. The Darcys combine. It's just bung forward. It might work out.
Oh, my goodness.
Lands in the hands of McStay. He plays on. Sees a man in the pocket. That man's Hill. Bobby takes the mark just. And surely he'll go back and break the duck here.
Just about the first target they've hit this quarter from Darcy Moore, and it was the biggest floater. Went about 6 different directions to find McStay, and then he turned and quickly found Bobby Hill, who should make sure from here.
Only 20 out, no real angle. This is a man that can ignite Collingwood and their massive fan base. Bobby Hill against his old side. 28 goals, 12 for the year. Bobby simply must kick the goal. For a third for Collingwood. To bring it back to an 11-point margin, Bobby Hill kicks the goal that Collingwood needed. Points to the sky. And a bit of belief for the Pies and their fans. They're 3-6-24. The Giants 5-5, 35. Back to an 11-point margin the way of the GWS. Collingwood and their fans are lifting. They'd love another one. They drive it inside. Where's McStay? He's at the front of the pack. There's McStay. You can't miss the big frame of the number 11. And this is a big kick now.
It is, and look at all the Collingwood defenders running over to Oleg Markov. He's the one that left his opponent when it looked like Brown had a run on with the footy. He attacked it, trapped it with his legs. Brown overran the footy, and then he was able to kick it forward to McStay, who takes the contested mark.
Huge kick from McStay. Kick one, missed one in the first. From 40 out, McStay. Daniel McStay! He's got 2. The Pies have got 2 in the roll. And they're again lifting Collingwood 4-6-30. The Giants 5-5, 35. Back to a 5-point margin.
Collingwood fans now up and about. Full of the ball, little quick kick out of the pack goes the Giants' way. Grabbed by Lloyd. Long kick inside forward 50. Moore's got to go and he does. Punch to ground level Bedford. Punch out a hand pass to Brown. Little snap from the pocket. I reckon he's got it. He has. And the Giants go to 6-5, 41. Back to an 11-point lead. 4-6-30. The Pies 15.5 third term.
McRae looks on the Triple M Harvey Norman replay screen. Crisp. Half breaks a tackle, long hand pass forward only as far as Himmelberg. He sends it back towards Toby Green and Maynard. Good contest that one off the chest of Maynard to the crisper. Well picked up Maynard, coming back the other way. Elliott, first time sighting. The dead-eyed dictatorial man from 45.
Been quiet, Ash.
Only 2 disposals. That's his first mark and one behind for the evening.
This is what he does, though, Chew. Kicks goals like this in big moments. Jamie Elliott, what's his set shots this year?
28-19 career-wise, 64%.
Just open up a bit, Chief. A bit more free-flowing now.
It has a bit. We needed to see that because it was such a tight, albeit a little bit scrappy first half. But all these kicks carrying so much pressure now.
Elliott to bring it back to a 5-point margin. Hicks 47. Jamie Elliott leans back on it. Crowd tells you everything. Elliott impacts the scoreboard. Back to 5 points. It's starting to heat up now. The Giants 6-5-41. Collingwood 5-6-36.
How many Ash do you think tonight?
About 96,000.
96, I reckon 90 are on their feet. On the wing, Chris punched down towards ground level, picked up and cleared by Callan Ward. Long ball across the wing, how brilliant. Read it beautifully, backed himself, got in front of the pack and took the mark at half back. Looked straight away to the corridor. Elliott presented, running past Pendlebury. Left foot ball, Cameron there. So's McStay, spills to McCreary. Cross the body, 20 out. And the Pies have hit the front. Collingwood hit the front at the 20-minute mark of the third term. 6-6-42. Giants 6-5-41.
It just looks like that sort of game that's going to go down to the wire. Now they're starting to take their opportunities when they go forward. Collingwood makes such a difference. Good quick movement of the footy. They're either finding good options going forward or moving in quickly and keeping the ball alive and putting the Giants' defence under pressure.
4 goals to 2 for the term away the Pies, and they are in front for the first time since the 9-minute mark of the second quarter. Collingwood
thrown in the air, Cox and Briggs. Cox slaps it down wide, finds a bit of space for Collingwood through Lipinski, kicks across the body, bounces inside forward 50. Mychek breaks the tackle, runs to 40, low ball for goal, and he's got it. Mychek reclaims the lead for Collingwood. They're out to a 5-point lead. 23 third term, 7-6, plays 6-7.
Yeah, Jeremy Howe off the ground just said to the boys, rub my left calf. So he's down here getting some work.
to go. He bangs out in the middle. Lipinski, the crisper. He'll hit 50. Crisp. He'll go from home. Jack Crisp for 52. Gets in a touch. Skinny. Oh, 7-7-49 to 6-6-43.
They want the corridor here, the Giants. They sniff a chance. Hand pass forward to Daniels. Low drop punt to Toby Green. Stayed on his feet. The ball went behind him. Still trying to track it. Darcy Moore punts it away. Keith picks it up. Bends it back from 25. And it's a post. A point to the Giants. Back to 4 points in arrears of Collingwood now. 30 minutes third term.
Chew, what did you tell us about these teams at three-quarter time?
They've yet to lose a game when leading at three-quarter time, Howie.
Righto, side bottom, hand pass out in front of Big Cox. Does well to keep the contest, looking for the boundary line. He's had a pretty good evening, your man, Maso.
Hasn't been bad. He started really, really well. Drifted out of the game a bit, but he's had a good third term.
Kelly, wobbling ball inside 50. Hogan. Maynard gets off Toby Green. Quainer will need to be cleaned.
Oh.
He hand passed it in the wrong direction. Now Cornelio's on his hammer. Murphy comes out with a funny little left foot style of kick. Now Pendlebury needs to be clean as well. DeGoey, they're just willing the ball forward. DeGoey's been their best. Gets it back by hand to Mitchell.
Mitchell hacks the ball into the centre of the ground. High bounce. Player sitting underneath it did well. Himmelberg. Hand pass off to Whitfield. Kicks the Giants back inside. Hogan's got a tackle. Punts down a hand pass. Daniels dragged down off his kick by Mitchell. Diving on top Pendlebury. Punts down a hand pass at half back to Lipinski. Spins around in a 180, but his kick's a turnover. Spills to Cumming. Cumming kicks back to Daniels on half forward. Quick kick inside 450. How brilliant. Takes the intercept mark. And that is it. Three-quarter time. And the Magpies will go in 4-point leaders in the preliminary final. 7-7-49. The Giants 6-9-45. Anybody's game.
Marine Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks finals footy.
Shut up! The footy's on the radio!
Marine Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks finals footy.
Pies by 11 at quarter time. The Giants by 10 after 4 goals to zip at the half-time break. Then 5 goals to 2 sees Collingwood leader by 4 points. 7-7-49 and the Giants 6-9-45. Injury concerns, big names to the Pies, Robbo.
Intrigue down here, Howie, because Ginnivan's got his long sleeve jumper on, so I reckon they've pulled the sub. and McStay ran out with a heavily strapped right knee, as we said, so straight into the rooms. And then we noticed that Darcy Moore, right ankle, blown right up, so he's rolled the right ankle. We still haven't seen the paperwork. We'll find that out in a sec, but definitely Ginnivan ready to go. McStay proppy, Moore proppy.
Haller on the unused sub so far for the Giants.
Yeah, jacket on for Dan McStay, so he's been subbed out. Ginnivan will start in the forward 50 now in this last term.
A quarter of football left for one of these sides. It's a 4-point preliminary final. Collingwood lead it. The crowd on their feet, 96,000 is the prediction from Ash Stewart. Siren goes. The Magpies, the leading side, will go to the right of our broadcast position to the city end in the final term of the preliminary final. The bounce is outside the circle and it will be recalled. So the ball thrown in the air. It'll be Cox in the ruck up against Briggs, who's been double teamed all night. De Goey kicks it off the ground and get him in at half forward. Picks it up 50 out for the Pies. Off balance with a kick. Real high ball that floats through for a point. And straight away, the sub has an impact. 5 points up Collingwood as we're seconds into the final term in the Triple M Liquorland scoreboard.
11th clearance for Jordan De Goey. He's putting in some sort of game.
There's always an injury story in grand final week. If the Pies prevail, it'll be about McStay and his knee.
And it'll be the Giants to run away from half-back with a kick out here to the broadcast wing. Nice running mark to Cumming.
He goes inboard, hangs it up. Turnover opportunity, McCreary, well done, Perryman. Tries to spot a target, does. Lloyd, 50 from home.
50.
Oh, 50, it'll be a goal.
Yep.
Told him to stand, he saw the players behind him, steer side bottom, so many years of football just kicks in. He was trying to jump up, not allow him to get that ball over the top, and the umpire pinged him.
Lloyd will kick his first from the goal square. It will give the Giants a 1-point lead. To a chorus of boos. Lloyd from point blank. The Giants are in front by a point. Backdoor square. 7-9-51 to the Pies. 7-9-51. All square again. 16 to go.
I have to ask the question why I was trying to pass it off in the first place, Lloyd. Anyway, the kick wasn't going to hit the target. He's a beautiful kick at goal. I think Ash, you gave me something. He's 65 goals, 20-something across his career from set shots, and he does it very, very well. 40 metres out directly in front. He should have been going back to have that shot.
Out of wing, takes a bit off it to Jamie Elliott. Points to the man on the mark.
Two big men both forward. Cox and Cameron.
That's the area they go. Cox is the fly. Big Meso splits the pack wide open. And the big man out of Texas will line up from 48. And if he kicks this, the chest will be out, Chiefy.
It will be. Look, he's normally pretty accurate, but he's normally better from closer in. So this is a big kick for him. It's going to take everything he's got. You don't normally see him kicking it close to 15 metres, Nate. You backing him in?
I'm going to back him in. Very good kick of the football, Chief. Bring the house down.
Mason Cox to light up the MCG from 48. Mason Cox delivers. He lobs a prelim and he's straight into Taylor and says, got a piece of that, son. The Pies lead it by a goal, 8-9-57. To the Giants, 7-9-51. And he was always going to get in his face.
Well, he's copped a piece of it all night as Taylor. He's been the best defender all year, bar none. One-on-one contested, whatever you like. He's been outstanding tonight. He's had his colours lowered again on that occasion. Had to take Mason Cox. Wasn't able to take him as Mason comes off his chest.
He got ragdolled.
He ragdolled. His jumper's hanging off, Chief.
Pies have got a sniff at the moment. Keefe sends it towards centre wing. Big fly. Riccardi fisted away from him. Daniels, can he keep it in? He does, but Quainer arrives. He's unbeatable. Now Maynard by hand. Nicky Dacos back to Quainer. Takes on Brown. Game in the balance. Dacos forward. Handball in the path of Lipinski. Chases after it. Gives it to De Goey. Gives the don't argue to Iden, but Iden does argue. Now Lipinski back by hand. Maynard wobbles the ball inside 50. Hoskinelli, it's the target. Goes one-handed.
And it's on the ground, 25 from Collingwood's goal. Elliott fights for it, grabs it, snap from the pocket, hits the post. Hits the post. Collingwood out to a 7-point lead. 10.5 final term. 7 points Collingwood's way. Cox taps it down to Mitchell from the boundary throw. He's right on defensive 50. Kicks back out to the outer side wing. Cameron and Taylor go at it. Taylor for the Giants wins it. Hand pass went astray. Mycheck will claim it. He lost the footy in the handle. And it spills back to Buckley. Short ball to Daniels. Too short. And he kicks across to Big Briggs, who marks 60 out from goal for the Giants.
Flows it on by hand. Briggs, spearing ball inside. Oh, it was a bullet to Hogan. And somehow he stopped at mid-flight, did Jesse. Now this is a kick. 40 out, no angle. To bring it back to a 1-point margin the way of the Pies. Jesse Hogan. What a moment.
Feels like the game has been on that side of the ground for the best part of the last 12 or 15 minutes without any good-looking ball. And then finally they get one through Ash, and jigs, it was a bullet, and he took it nicely.
Hasn't kicked a goal this evening, Jesse Hogan. From 40. Jesse leans back on it. One arm in the air, Jesse! Crowd gives him nothing, but his team are all around him. Collingwood 8-10-58. The Giants 8-9-57. It's a 1-pointer with 6:18 in the clock.
Ball thrown in the air, about 12 players underneath it. Cox slaps it down, got a hand on the footy, still on the deck, the footy in dispute. Nick Dacos, his hand pass went straight to Kelly. Kelly for the Giants, searching ball inside. Keith there, it doesn't get to him. Murphy got a fist on it. Toby Green, boundary side. Banana for goal from 25 out inside bottom. Drops back on the line between the goalposts and takes it on his chest. Can you believe that?
Pies lost a prelim this time a year ago to Sydney by 1 point. They currently lead the Giants by a point. 3:50 on the clock. A season of hard work hangs in the balance. Chew, if it's tied in 1 minute 57, what happens?
We have a 6-minute break firstly, then we play 2 by 3-minute halves plus time on. No breaks in between those 2 by 3-minute halves.
The Magpies hanging on by a point. Seconds tick down. 1:40 on the clock now. A fight for the footy between half forward and wing for the Pies out of side. The umpire no choice but to ball it up.
1:37 on the clock. Pendlebury, it's a high wobble. Whitfield's back in defence. Collingwood come, they need to bring it to ground and do. Orange jumpers around it. Kelly by hand misses Iden. They should clear. It's a hacking ball. Darcy Moore.
He brings it to ground and they pile in on top of him and the umpire will ball it up.
Oh, they had 3 players there too. Couldn't get the intercept mark. Collingwood, you reckon if they get a clean possession, they'll just about be able to run the clock down.
This is the type of the ground where the Giants would love to get some clean hands out of this stoppage.
1 minute 5 seconds left in the preliminary final. Collingwood by a point. Ball thrown in the air and players from both sides just pile in on top of the pill and the umpire will ball it up in the same spot.
You just want some clean hands at this point of the game.
Tossed in the air. Cameron goes to ground, slaps behind him. The Magpies pile in on top again. The umpire crosses the arms and in the same spot will do it again.
Interesting, Nate. No loose defenders back or no extras back for Collingwood. It's all even numbers.
Cumming pushes forward as well. One of the defenders is now pushed forward for the Giants.
Collingwood crowd trying to push their side home. 50 seconds on the clock. 1 point in it, the way of the Pies. Dacos sits on it.
It's like a rugby scrum at the moment. Collingwood trying to keep it tight. The Giants trying to get it loose.
You got Degoe on the bench, your best clearance player on the bench for the last minute.
43 seconds left in the game. We're right in the middle of the MCG. Who gets the clearing ball? Callaghan had hands on it. Spills out towards Mitchell. Hand pass side bottom. Tackled by Perryman. It's still the rugby scrum. And the umpire says, give it to me, boys. I'll try and split you one more time.
One of these Giants players just has to try and hit the pack at pace and take it with them.
This is it now. 30 seconds on the clock. Collingwood leader by a point. Elliott doesn't want to get it too clear. Puts it out in the path of Josh Dacos. It bounces. Can he pick it up? He does. Just needs to find a teammate with a mark and it'll be game over. He sends it forward. He finds Hoskin Elliott. That might be your ball game. He'll slow it down. He'll milk the clock as much as he can. 7 seconds on the clock. Hoskin Elliott looks. Collingwood leader by a point. He comes back and across. Siren will sound. Collingwood by a point. They lost the prelim by the same margin last year. And the Collingwood Footy Club, the biggest club in the land, are into the grand final. Collingwood 8-10-58. The Giants 8-9-57 on just a wonderful night of footy at the MCG. shifting beneath our bums here at the moment.
The whole grandstand.
The grandstand is shaking. Collingwood by a point. Brisbane or Carlton away. The Giants were valiant. The Pies just defended and defended and defended.
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks.